Welcome back to the Two Pointers Podcast. I'm Trevor Everett, and today we are back to do a Trivia Showdown. I guess this is now for trailing from last year. This is episode 8, and if that's wrong, you can sue me. It'll be on the screen. It'll be in the title of the episode on Apple, Spotify, all of the great podcast platforms, as well as YouTube. I encourage you to come over and watch this on YouTube. Got a really cool elements coming through here. Before I get to these two guys, thank you for supporting the last couple of weeks of the show with the hiatus. I'm glad to be back. If you haven't read already, house-enterprise.com. Shout out to House Enterprise for the platform. Posting, I guess by the time you're hearing this, it would already be live, but the final part of the, I guess you could say 5-part, but 51 different states in Washington, D.C. State rankings article series is finally done. I'm so excited, but the top 10 is going to cause a lot of unfollows, a lot of debates, a lot of really dedicated basketball folk. Yes, North Carolina is in the top 5. It's just a matter of where. I'm just a little spoiler there for those that haven't read it. It will be linked at the top of the description. Please go read that. Please go, attack me. If you want to attack me, it's Outta Pocket with Michael Davis on Twitter. So,
whoa,
good transition there. Hello, Mr. Michael Davis. Welcome back to the show. Introduce yourself for those that might be new and anything you're doing right now or working on.
Yeah, of course. Trevor, thanks so much for having me and Carsen on the show. You've been on Outta Pocket with Michael Davis Friday afternoons at 4. It's part of the Tobacco Road Sports Radio clan. So I'm glad to be back on the show. And fun fact, we were talking about this. This is how I found the Two Pointers Podcast. Was like a trivia reel that went viral on social media. I was like, this guy knows his stuff. But I'm kind of worried about today because I don't think I know my stuff. I always like in trivia games, like I'll go to, music trivia or whatever, and I'll purposely write the team name wrong answers only because I know I'm not going to get any of them right. So who knows? We'll see.
I love how you're like, this guy knows his stuff, but the real people know, and obviously going back to last year with having my old co-host Josh is this guy knows how to Google things and find things efficiently and knows how to screenshot stuff from Twitter. So it's a lot of fun. Like he just mentioned, Carsen Williams here, first time on the show, but I'm trying to expand Trivia Showdown. I want people to go up against people they want to go up against and have fun and bring on new folks. So in the past, I tried to make it where if you were a guest, it's like, oh, this is your welcome back party or whatever. But Carsen, welcome to the show for the first time. Introduce yourself, and as soon as you're done, Trivia Showdown with Michael Davis and Carsen Williams will be off the screen, and all of our Twitters will be on there as well. So introduce yourself and what you are working on.
Yeah, Trevor, thanks for having me. I'm Carsen. I don't really have anything myself going on, but I'm on Outta Pocket with Michael Davis every week, so you should definitely go check that out. It's a lot of fun, especially the last couple episodes I thought were a lot of fun. So make sure to go check those out. Also, the Two Pointers Podcast, of course, you got to check that out wherever it's available. But yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm normally the guy at when I go out to trivia places, I'm the guy when a sports question comes up that everybody turns their head to, and I feel important for a second, and then I get 50% of them right. Hopefully I do good. But I'm nervous. I did a lot of studying up before the show.
So there's 77 years of NBA history, so hopefully you studied the right things. I'm going to lay out the rules here. But by the way, for those that don't know, this did get inspired. This was Josh and I's kind of brainchild that really sparked this show's future really last offseason. I really enjoyed this. Gave me kind of a 6-week break to just kind of breathe. Hopefully we get 6 weeks this year, but to just kind of breathe and literally once a week have to figure out questions and then do a show and edit it. And it only took maybe 3 hours total for the whole week. So nice to take a break and enjoy the time off from the summer from doing this. But it did spar from, my in-laws and I like to go out and do different trivia games and breweries and things like that and just go have a good time at those places. So, music trivia, bingo, things like that. That's kind of where the brainchild of this came from. Never really told that before. So I am going to lay out the rules. I've told these guys the rules off air, but they're also going to hear it a second time. Those that are new are going to hear this for the first time. The 3 rules, and then I'll kind of talk about the actual rules. The rules and the motto of the show is I want you to learn something. It's going to be difficult, and you will have hopefully a lot of fun. I say those in a different order right off the dome every time somehow. And then the actual rules, the format of today, for the sake of fairness, back to actually episode number 1, we only did 2 multiple choice questions in that first one because we wanted it to be kind of difficult. Come to find out, the first guy got 12, last year. So 10 possible questions. There'll be a couple bonus points here and there that it'll be helpful for you, but multiple choice, there's going to be 2 of them. There's going to be the rest are all free answer in some format or another. And then there will be some form of different fun, types of free answer. So it might not be just free answer. You might have like a closest to the number and things like that. So, and then there will be a 60-second finale, and you will have the ability to write as many possible answers to that finale, and each point will help go to your total, and you do not lose points for incorrect answers. And I'll go back over the finale format once more at the end. Any questions or anything I told you off air that I might have forgotten in the last 15 seconds or 15 minutes? I think we're good, right? I think we covered it all.
I think we're good, yeah.
All right. I'm very excited. I left one very important detail out for both of you. If you watched last week to study up, obviously none of those questions are here today. But I did try to include a caveat here to maybe be like, oh, this is fair and fun. Last week I had the Everything College Basketball folks, actually part of their brand and channel as well, as a contributor, but had those guys on to talk about college basketball trivia. Figured you guys cover mostly NBA, so that was what was appropriate. Plus I was itching to talk about the NBA for some reason, but each of those guys have a fandom in college. One was a Kentucky fan. One was a Louisville or Kansas. I went with Kansas, and the other was an Illinois fan. So I did a question themed off of each of their fandoms. And if I've got it correct, Michael, obviously you're a Heat fan. I've talked to you many times about it as they made a run to the finals. And then Carsen, this is where you should probably tell me the truth right now. Are you a Cavs fan, yes or no?
Yes, I'm a Cavs fan.
Got that
I would
right.
never lie
Okay.
about that.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
not me.
wouldn't
Okay.
lie about
You've been
being
talking about them
prideful.
for a while. Some people like teams, or they're like, oh, they haven't. Oh, I'm going to get this point. I'm going to make
Right.
sure I tell people, whatever. I just want to make sure I got that right. Didn't look it up. I remember talking to you about it. I just wanted to. I kind of just put the question together and was like, hopefully he actually is. I just don't remember. So I was like, all right,
That's a
we'll
good
have
call.
some fun. So long-winded, 7 minutes in. Question number 1. The first one's going to be a Miami Heat question, and then question number 2 we'll get to the Cavs. So it's going to be fair
It'd
there.
be pretty embarrassing if I got this one wrong.
It has happened before. So question number 1 is actually multiple choice. It's your first one, one of 2. So unfortunately knocking off the total there. Who leads the Miami Heat all-time and career three-pointers made? Is it A, Tim Hardaway Sr., B, Duncan Robinson, C, Eddie Jones, or D, Glenn Rice? This is the part where you just kind of think. You can talk out loud. Obviously, if you say the answer or kind of give your opponent some help there, great. But you can also talk. A lot of people in the past have talked out their answer that didn't give anything away. Like, oh, maybe it's this because of this or whatever. I can fill time also. I haven't done any SeatGeek promos, so y'all think, y'all right. I'm going to do the first SeatGeek promo of the hour. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen if you're on YouTube. Use code 2pointers for $20 off your first purchase, SeatGeek.com or in the app. SeatGeek is the only ticket marketplace where you can see your seat and get a deal score. So you'll be able to see in most arenas in North America, you'll be able to see your arena seat directly on the app from the stadium or from the arena, as well as you'll get a deal score 1 to 10 on value and on seat quality. Feel free to check that out. Link in the top of the description, SeatGeek.com. I know it's really hard for you guys to think while I'm doing a promotion, but want to make sure I do that because we're in the middle of baseball season. You can actually get baseball tickets right now in most cities for, really high up in the stadium as well as on a weekday for about $22. So you can get a $2 ticket to a baseball game right now. It's really cheap concerts, any great stuff, as well as NBA content coming up in the future. Feel free to check that out. $20 off your first purchase. It's also running across the bottom of the screen. So, all right, enough ads. Where are we? Do we have an answer? I'll kind of ask for a thumb up, lock in. No real timer.
I'm
Didn't
good.
really say that.
I'm good.
There's no real
You had-
timer here, but you'll have time. You'll have time. So,
It was Glenn Rice,
Carsen?
Eddie Jones, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Duncan Robinson.
yes. And to be fair on the multiple choice, you don't have to put the letter and it be the wrong guy. Just put the guy. You don't have to put the letter. I've got the letter beside me,
Okay.
obviously. So, are we ready? Are we locked in?
I think we're
locked
locked in.
All right, for the sake of confusion and the fact this will be really awkward, I'm going to, because of where I'm looking on my screen, Carsen's first and Michael's second on the order here. So for the rest of the episode, I'm going to go Carsen for this question and Michael, and we'll alternate. And that'll be confusing because obviously Carsen's the Cavs fan. So, Carsen, who is the all-time leader in career Miami Heat three-pointers?
All right, on my comically large whiteboard, I have written
That is
Glenn
really,
Rice.
that is really big for no reason whatsoever.
That was the only one I had at my disposal.
Okay, I love that. It's great. This is the Instagram reel that will find the next Michael Davis. I don't know. So, Michael Davis, who is your answer? We're going to ask for, by the way, I'll get the both answer from you, and then I'll reveal it, of course.
And then you'll reveal it. So I thought about these answers, and I was like, it could be Glenn Rice. Okay.
He said it could be. Okay, he's an answer choice. That's good. Yeah.
I don't think so.
He hasn't been there long enough. Guy. You know how many threes he's hitting right now?
He hit 200 in a season a couple years ago. I thought about putting him. I know he hit 200 in a season a couple years ago, but I don't think he was there long enough.
Robinson's still here. He's still making waves. And the amount of 3-pointers we've shot in the last several years, as opposed to Glenn Rice, even though Glenn has more years with Miami, that's where I got Duncan.
All right. 19 ahead of the guy in second place. Duncan Robinson is correct with 825 threes in his Miami Heat career. Michael Davis is going to get a point. Go ahead and knock yourself down there for a point in the top of your whiteboard, Michael. I'll read them up.
Right corner.
I don't care.
I've got mine in
my editing process letter. That's great. Glenn Rice is fourth with 708, so he was a valid answer choice. You're going to see a common theme here of this list. Eddie Jones is third with 712. I didn't try to pull down the list and throw you guys off. Tim Hardaway. This one kind of surprised me. He's second. He was a shot chucker. To be clear, he actually has the most attempts, and it's not close. So he has the most attempts by a long shot. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. He had to make at least 806 of them in this case. Second, and then like I said, Duncan Robinson is correct with 825. So good job, Michael, there on the point. We're going to go ahead and move on to question
He's
2.
just going to keep adding the total, by the way.
Well, this
isn't see what happens.
This isn't where I'm
Cavaliers,
supposed to excel.
Let's see what happens. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's question number 2. The 2006-2007 Cavs were led by LeBron James, of course, who averaged 27.3 points per game in the regular season. This Cavs team is considered by many as one of the worst teams in league history to make the NBA Finals. I would tend to agree with that statement. Who was the second leading scorer on that team in the regular season? So I'm going to read the question again. Be thinking. 2006-07 Cavs were led by LeBron James, who averaged 27.3 points per game in the regular season. Cavs team considered one of the worst in league history to make the NBA Finals. Who was the second leading scorer on that team in the regular season? I really love when people, and this is me filling time again, y'all don't listen to me, when people are bringing up the LeBron Jordan stuff or the LeBron haters are trying to find anything they can, they pull this team. Okay, honestly, this is an achievement, okay? I'm going to read the roster again. We're going to go back over this. And by the way, this is no disrespect to any of the guys on these teams. They just weren't at their peak of their powers in their career as role players or as complimentary stars, we're going to call them for that era, because there really wasn't 2 stars on a team. This was pretty common. Dwight Howard led the Magic to a spoiler, not a question today. Led the Magic to the finals in 2009 to be swept by the Lakers, if I'm correct there, on the games in that finals. But yeah, so I mean, this is not uncommon for a guy like LeBron to average 27.3 and take a team to the finals, right? And he averaged less in the playoffs, if I'm correct, either. This was finished the research about an hour ago, but irrelevant to what I'm talking about right now. I'm just trying to fill time for you guys. So at any point, whenever you feel ready, you can give me a thumbs up. Like I said, there's no timer, but I'm going to call on you eventually. So again, I make the rules. So.
I think I'm ready. I think I got it.
Well, it'll be fun because Michael's going to be the one to go first. We're going to find out if he's ready in just a second. And I will pull this right off of Basketball Reference just to be safe.
Is there spelling count?
I've never not given, like, somebody spelled somebody's name off by one letter or the other. Like, I know who you're talking about. Now in the finale, it might matter. It might be a little tight. It might matter.
Now the championship.
LeBron James is spelled with an N at the end of LeBron. Yeah, that kind of thing. I want to make sure you're not just stopping early before you finish. But so, got an answer for me?
I think I got an answer. Okay. Now I was starting to think about the guards that LeBron played with, and then I was like, Williams, Gibson. And then I'm like, let me go with the guy who's probably one of the hardest spelled names in the NBA.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying now. Okay,
Mr.
All right, let's see if you spell it right. Keep it up right there. Let's see if you spell it right. Zydrunas. Okay. And then is that an L right after the I?
I-L.
I-L-G-A-U. Gua. It's okay. It's close, man. You literally flipped the A, and there's no rule for A and U being flipped like there is I and E. So, good guess, Carsen.
That was impressive.
Yeah,
I
couldn't have done that.
I was gonna go Big Z. He was the second best player on that team, but I had the same thought process where I was thinking about guards, and I'm gonna go with one of my all-time favorites, Mr. Mo Williams.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to read a few names that you've mentioned. So you had a bunch of guys at the bottom that averaged 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Shout out to Shannon Brown, who had 3.2. Shannon Brown was a Laker who had a really famous block, 2 hands, about 1.5 feet over the basket kind of thing, crazy block. So one of you mentioned Boobie Gibson, I believe. That's right. Yeah, he obviously was on this team. He did not. He was at 4.6 points per game. Damon Jones, 6.6. Anderson Varejao. Now I'm going up the list until we get to the correct answer. Shout out to Anderson Varejao. Donyell Marshall, one of my favorite 2K players growing up in this time of year. I actually played 2K6 a lot. Sasha Pavlovich was on this team, 9 points per game. Drew Gooden, 11.1. Big Z, so Jonas Ilgauskas with 11.9, so Michael's not going to get a point.
No,
you were on the right track with guard though, Carsen. I thought you were going to say I do love Mo Williams. By the way, he's going to be forgotten. He's not. It's Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes was so good, such a good 3-point shooter for his time. Really, again, enjoyed him in 2K. He only shot 33% from 3 this season, but I think he was a better 3-point shooter than he's given credit for. So,
Trevor, we got to clarify this. I know you said you're not docking off points for spelling, but since I got pretty darn close with even the wrong answer, does that mean I get to add a little?
For those that are new, for those that are new here, bonus points are stingy. I only have one opportunity for bonus points unless I think of something on the fly today. So there is a bonus point opportunity later on, but I am very stingy with bonus points. That has always been a thing because obviously it may matter later. So
I would have hated you as a professor.
I love this show because I can do whatever I want with it. So, all right. So, question number 3. We're going to go ahead and keep rolling. Like I said, I'll get a score update here in a few minutes once we actually start racking up some points here in a row or some questions in a row. So, question number 3. How many teams have never won an NBA title? No multiple choice.
Now.
How many teams have never won an NBA title?
Okay.
And I fact-checked this an hour ago. So, unless a team won a title in the last 59 minutes, this is correct. The only reason I'm saying that is because I literally got fact-checked a few weeks ago for one of these shows, like live. So just making sure people understand, I did this an hour ago. I finalized all the data an hour ago. So unless somebody won an NBA championship in the last calendar or in the last hour, then we're good. So any clarifying questions you can ask,
Does this include the coveted Summer League championship?
Aha. There will be no Summer League's championship conversations or trivia questions, so no, it does not include that. There should be. I gave up on Monty Bates 3 different times in the last 24 months, so I'm happy to see where he came. Did believe him when he was at Memphis, though. I was all in on that. Picked him to be player of the year as a freshman, the whole thing. Severely overestimated his ability there. So how many teams have never won an NBA title?
Gosh, some of them
I'm
in a range of 3 or 4 numbers.
And let me just be safe and clear right now because I just realized something. Okay, we're good. I was just double checking myself right here live on the show. We're gonna get transparency.
Did something change?
No. I thought I miscounted them. I was like, wait a minute, we're good.
I'm in a range of 3 to 4 right now.
Okay. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds as we're getting to the 20-minute mark, and we do have some harder questions coming up. I try my best to tier these as hard as possible from easiest to hardest in order, but I'll be honest with you. Question 10 isn't exactly that difficult.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just being upfront about it, and we'll see if that doesn't age poorly or not, but... Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I have a fun every time I put these together and do these, but I really did enjoy putting this one together because I had a list over the last couple of months because I knew I was going to be doing this solo because last year I did them with a co-host. So obviously 2 brains put together for 10 questions every 7 days is a little easier. And I finished today's episode research where I ended up having 18 total question possibilities, and obviously didn't want to repeat any of that kind of thing. So actually it works out perfect because next guest, hopefully for the NBA, it might not be this week, it may be next week. I'm kind of promoting while y'all are writing, but My old co-host Josh will be returning, which is really cool. He'll be returning
That's
for the second
awesome.
time this year. He's a big Hornets fan, and then his challenger is going to be a longtime, most tenured guest on the show, Grayson Hill. They're going to be going head-to-head, and I needed a Hornets question and a Thunder question, so if I've already got 8 prepared, Thunder, Hornets, we've got 10. So I really, like I said, I like this group of questions we've got for today's episode. That was long-winded to say that. So hopefully we have an answer. Carson, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Thank you.
I was counting out teams in my head, and I just expected to. I assumed that I missed a couple, so I'm gonna go 11.
Okay. Michael?
So that was the range I was looking at, was like that 9 to 12 range. And so I went like Price is Right and, lowballed it. I think I got 9 right here.
Ooh.
Okay. So this is hilarious. The correct answer is 10.
10. Dang
And
it!
it's hilarious because you both are just like, what are the odds of that? I love this.
Dang. Okay. Who can name the most? No.
I'll just name them for you right now. Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers, Los Angeles Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, Minnesota Timberwolves, New Orleans Pelicans, Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, and Utah Jazz. Michael, you're wearing a Pelicans jersey, as you noted earlier in the show on your whiteboard. Did you count them in your list, or did you not? Did you just throw a number out there, or did you try to think them through?
Well, okay, so I remember right before the Heat and Nuggets, there was a graphic going around of like all the teams and like if they've won a title or not. And I remembered it was like 9, 10, 11 range, and then Denver won, so that was -1. So I thought it was like it was already at 10. And then Denver made it 9. But I was like, it could have easily been 11 and Denver made it 10.
Right.
Okay. All right. Great thought processes there, guys. We'll get a score update just for the sake of fun and YouTube editing
I'm
later.
winning.
Does that count as a point or no? Either way, Michael's.
Right. No, yeah, neither of you got it right, unfortunately.
Oh, we had to get it right.
You had to get it right on, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, wait, this is Price is Right rules.
No, unless I say otherwise.
Oh my god!
This is Trevor rules.
Yeah, I will say otherwise. There is one coming up. You will enjoy that. It'll be fun.
So Michael's winning right now. Then,
right. Michael, for the sake of editing for YouTube, Michael, how many points do you have?
I have 1 point, and that's one more point than Carsen Williams.
Okay, Carsen, I'll cut that out. Carsen, how many points do you have?
I have 0 points, unfortunately, right now.
Still plenty of time.
I'm just getting so close every time, so eventually I'm going to hit it.
Hopefully so. This one's a 50-50 shot, so let's get on to question number 4.
Okay.
Has an NBA team ever made the NBA Finals with a losing record in that regular season? True or false?
Wait, true that they have or true that they haven't?
Has an NBA team ever made the NBA Finals with a losing record? True if they have, I guess you could say. Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, good clarify. True if they have, false if they haven't. Is that right? Hopefully, you made me second guess my wording. Has an NBA team ever made the NBA Finals with a losing record in the regular season?
We could also just do yes or no.
Yes or no.
Let's do that.
Okay.
For the sake of my brain exploding here in the 23-minute mark, and then I'm going to give you a bonus point if you can give me the year and the team. This is actually an unplanned bonus point. I want to be completely clear about that. I'm being nice since we have only 1 point combined through 3 questions. Year, and obviously there's 2 years involved because you start the regular season in 1 year and then the finals in the other. You can give me the year period, and I won't be stingy about that. Like if you can tell me the year and the team, if it's true. First of all, that's the clarifying point there. If it's true, if you can give me a year and a team, then I will give you the extra point if that is correct.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, Michael's still thinking. I love how this always happens when the person who's supposed to be ready. Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
All right, well, go right ahead.
With all the hype and buildup you did with that question, I feel like you're tricking us.
Oh, okay.
And I started thinking like, okay, maybe earlier on where, but we just saw Miami be like the second 8 seed ever to go to the NBA Finals.
We did.
So
nice plug. Okay, want me to know? Okay.
It's
Carsen?
a no. It's a no.
I am 99% sure with this answer. I'm pretty sure I heard this.
Oh,
The answer
good.
is yes, it is true.
Okay.
And it was the Knicks in 88-89.
Okay. Just to be safe, first of all, let me be completely clear, Michael. I'm glad I did it the way I did because it made you second guess yourself. Second of all, I was supposed to, if I had done this bonus point properly off my fly here, or off the fly, I should have asked the question, and then once we had answers locked in, I should have been like, if you think there's a team, I should have gave you the points first, and then been like, hey, by the way, let's see, since the answer's whatever, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. I am going to double check the Knicks one because obviously they are famously known as the last 8 seed to make the NBA Finals. If the year's right, regardless, they've done that. Give me the year one more time.
88 and 89.
Cool. So, you got the year wrong on that,
Was
but
it in
I
the
will.
thousands?
I will tell you right.
87?
So I'll tell you right now. They've had losing records multiple times, but never the years that they made the finals because 98, 99. So 98, 99 Knicks. That was the lockout season. Remember? So they the finals lockout year at the turn of the century. They were 27 and 23. It was so close.
Yes!
They had multiple times. Hold on. Carsen still gets a point though because the answer
What?
is true.
It's not.
A team has made the NBA Finals with a losing record. Let's get back to.
Oh, was it the
normal here.
Rockets, actually? I think it was the Rockets.
It was the Rockets in 1980 and
No.
81. The 40 and 42 Houston Rockets. You don't get a point for the Rockets thing, by the way.
No.
1980, 81 Houston Rockets, 40 and 42. Did lose to the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. To not make the Knicks thing a little less confusing, there was a couple instances that they could have. They made the East semis, it looks like, or they lost in the first round a couple times with a losing record, but they have made a couple of stints where they could have done it. But the correct answer is true, and the Rockets, obviously no bonus point for the Rockets there. So, all right.
I knew it happened in the 80s. I just couldn't remember who.
It's all good. The 80s were a fun time for basketball, and obviously you could call that a cupcake finals for the Celtics. So, potentially. Now, you mentioned earlier, we're going to go on to question number 5 to keep rolling here. Closest to the number. So we are actually doing Prices Right format this time.
Okay.
so be prepared for that. Closest person to the number without going over gets the point. If you both go over, it's whoever is closer to the number gets the point. Price is Right style, of course, for those that don't know that. 3-time Sixth Man of the Year award winner Lou Williams has the most career bench points in NBA history. How many bench points does he have in his career?
Oh, my gosh.
Closest to the number without going over gets the point.
Okay.
If you both go over, one of you has to have the number closer. I'll read the question again. For those of you listening on Apple, Spotify, please drop a 5-star rating and a review. We greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to come over to YouTube to see all the fun visual elements of this show and the constantly running SeatGeek ad, I'd greatly appreciate it. 3-time Sixth Man of the Year award, Lou Williams has the most career bench points in NBA history. How many bench points does he have?
Trevor, who is your favorite, sixth man of all time?
Jamal Crawford.
Really?
Without a doubt. The only
a
reason
good
I
pick.
didn't use Jamal Crawford for this choice is because Lou Williams has the record. That's the only reason Lou Williams is getting used. So it would have been Jamal Williams.
You can't use how many points he has because he started sometimes.
He started a ton in his career, actually, more than I
Right.
realized. But is still the most bench points in NBA history.
Maybe I think it's less than what I put, actually.
Like I said,
He's second guessing.
no time
I'm
limit here.
second
You're
guessing.
good. Got plenty of time. No time limit here. I
Wow.
think so.
We need a shot clock on this.
No, well, you'll have a shot. Don't worry. You'll appreciate not having one when you get to the finale, and you're trying to write as many of those guys as possible. Good luck with that. I've had people implode and put one answer in the finale before, so don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that
Okay.
guy. I'm telling you, don't be that guy.
Okay, I'm ready.
People have actually imploded and not put any answers in the finale. They had like one or two, so just making sure you know that. I think it was a fantasy football themed trivia at that point, so it wasn't very easy. So shout out to fantasy football starting in less than 45 days, I think.
We should start a league.
We should call it NBA Twitter League. I'm just kidding. There's definitely one of that already out there, but we should figure out a better one. Oh, all the people that have been on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis. There's got to be more than 8.
There's got
Gotta
to
be.
be.
I refuse to be in a league. Even if there's 9 of us, I refuse to be in an 8-team league. Just FYI. So
Why?
I'll put it because the leagues get too stacked with 8, and then you're literally benching like RB5s. It's just not fair.
You know what's worse than 8-man league? A 16-man league.
Fun fact: I am in a pod. This is my 3rd year in a podcast league. It's called the FFLOP, the Flop League, the Fantasy Football League of Podcasters, and it's a 14-team Yahoo that's being expanded to 16 this year, if I'm correct. If I get the invitation again,
so bad.
Shout out to Evan and shout out to Dan and Evan from the Domestic Draft Podcast. They do Chicago sports and craft beer podcast, and they interview brewmasters throughout the United States as well as Chicago themed people and baseball people. So really, really great show. Love those guys. We've been friends since the beginning of my show, basically. So, all right, long-winded. 30 minutes in, we're halfway through. So closest to the number. Do we have an answer?
Yes.
Who's up? Odd. I think it was
Michael's
Michael.
turn.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Thanks
my
for keeping me
turn.
on track here. Go right ahead.
So it's interesting. I'll wrap myself out for watching social media a lot. I'll see those Insta reels where they're trying to like get, certain people get their career number and try to get higher than a certain number. I'm pretty sure I saw Lou Williams on this list, and I was trying to visualize the number. So I threw out 21,000.
Oh, no
600
way. Bench points?
bench points. I threw out 21,600.
If that's right, then I'm going to go insane.
We're going to find out here in just a moment. Carson, what is your answer?
So at first, I had written down 13,500 because I know how much he started, and that's still a lot of points, And then you were like, he started more than I think. I second guessed myself, so I went down. I've got 9,250. Can you see that?
Okay. Yes, I can. So, Michael, hold up both of you keep your answers held for just a second, just to make sure I've got this lined up right for the totals and so I don't miss anything here properly. So, Lou Williams in his NBA career had 15,593. But that's not the answer we're looking for.
That's
Carson,
not the answer we're looking for.
I want you to tell me what you just said about 15 seconds ago that you wrote down first.
I had written down 13,500, and I took it away.
You better be glad you're getting this point regardless, because the answer is 13,336. You were off by a mere handful of points on your first answer.
And you know what's really funny is at first I wrote 13,250, and then I was like, no, that's too little. So then I went to 500, and then I went back. That's okay.
Yes.
Points
and you still would have gotten it because you both were over it. But you would have been even closer with that last one. So yes, great intuition there. You actually, funny enough, the talking you out of it, I didn't even mean to do that. I mean, he did start more than you think, but like it's still not that much because he only scored like 2,000 some odd points in a starting role in the NBA, which is stupid, by the way. Yeah, it's dumb. 13,336. Congrats on the point there. Let's do a score update, and then I do a fun little halftime game that will not take us long because we're 33 minutes in. I'll ask Carson first since you just scored. Carson, how many points do you have?
I have 2 points.
Okay. Michael, how many points do you have?
I have 1 point.
That many points.
Okay. So, Carson, 3 words. How are you feeling halfway through Trivia Showdown? Not a word.
3
We're good.
words.
That's 2 words. Michael, while
Incredible.
Carson's thinking. Incredible. So, 2 words, incredible. Got it. Michael Davis, how many 3 words? How are you feeling through Trivia Showdown halfway through?
I put upset at 2-1, disrespected for the
We're well
for the-
over 3 words now.
no. That and my third word is delightful because I'm still with you guys and we're still
You are the first person to write down the words that they were. It was supposed to be off the cup, but I like that. That was perfectly fine. All right, let's keep rolling. We're having too much fun. Question number 6. This one's going to be a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. How many NBA Finals has Pat Riley made in his career?
Oh,
And then after you write the points or the total, the number, for a bonus point, how many or what percentage, of the NBA Finals in history has he made?
So
how many finals has Pat Riley made? Go ahead.
Is this him as a player, coach, owner, or just player, coach, or just coach?
I'm only going to answer this question because you ask, and it's probably important to clarify. The question was written to intend to make you think beyond or outside of the box. That's how I'm going to answer your question. So think outside of the box. I'm not going to answer your question, but I'm going to tell you to think outside the box. So I'm going to read the question again. How many NBA Finals has Pat Riley made in his career? And then for a bonus point, what percentage of the NBA Finals in history has he made? And the number is rounded up very small, whatever. It's rounded up a very small amount on the percentage, and I will be pretty fluid with that answer. I will not dock you if you don't get the point, whatever, like the decimal point on the percentage. I will be pretty generous with this because there's only one other opportunity for a bonus point. Actually, just kidding. I think this actually might be the bonus point opportunity I had written down. It is. So this is the last bonus point opportunity, so you might want to take advantage of it. Depending on what you guys put, I may. No one's ever asked that before, but I'm not going to lie. I think it's kind of harder. You have a whiteboard in front of you. Do the math on the whiteboard. I'm make the rules.
bruh.
Have fun. Learn something, and it's supposed to be difficult. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So, Pat Riley, this was obviously brought up in the NBA Finals broadcast. Again, this is me filling time while you guys are thinking, but it was brought up during the NBA Finals broadcast because the Miami Heat, of course, made the NBA Finals this year as an 8 seed. Not that Michael needs any more reason for me to bring that up, but yeah, you can thank the NBA Finals for this question. So I really enjoy this. Pat Riley is also one of my favorite just people, players, persons of all time in the NBA, except for the fact he fell asleep during draft night last year, even though they didn't have any picks or a second or something like that. No, it was the trade deadline. Excuse me. It was the trade deadline this year. He fell asleep or something, so they had to do all their moves, which they did none. They had to do all of them while Pat Riley was asleep.
Okay.
Of course, the man is in his, I think, almost 80s, so give him a break. But
Is this ABA included for the percentage?
So the way this is a good question. So, and I'll actually answer this fully. So the way I do NBA history is I have to trust Basketball Reference, and the way they list things is they technically do not count the ABA's history in league statistics. So they will count them for player statistics, player teams they played for, etc. It's really hard how they did the data. But like the NFL, AFL, they don't count them. They don't count the merger. They essentially pretend like it didn't happen, right? They use that number, that 1960, as like a thing. The NBA does the same thing in like league statistics. So an example, for the state ranking series, I'm just going to talk out loud to answer your question. I had to find a fair way to determine like NBA titles, right? When I ask you, do the Indiana Pacers have an NBA title? What would you say?
No.
They were listed earlier, so the answer is no. They have an ABA title, so the NBA does not recognize that. Just FYI. That is the way I would say. So they do not consider those NBA finals or ABA finals, so I do not. Long-winded answer, but I do like to talk that stuff out because people may disagree. Again, I had to come up with a fair way for the state ranking series, so for those that are curious, the Lakers actually lost 5 titles, or California wasn't awarded 5 titles in that state ranking series because Minneapolis had 5 of them. So Minnesota actually got a nice little bump there. But so yeah. But didn't really make a difference. Let's be honest. California, for those that are following along with the state rankings series on house-enterprise.com, they're very obviously going to be in the top 10. They have not been listed yet, and California's got a pretty good track record. So should be a lot of fun. Find out where those top 10s get ranked here on Monday. So, all right, I am going to ask for an answer. What is the total points number here in the next 15 seconds? And I'll go on. Okay. I think we're even numbers, so I think it's Carsen. And then obviously what percentage, like we talked about.
Okay, you said 15 seconds?
Yep. I'm just kind of haphazardly looking at the clock. Not really looking at the 15
I'm ready.
But. All right, Michael, okay. I want you both to be locked in, to be fair.
I mean, I'm not good at math. And so I don't have a percentage. Actually, I'll guess a percentage.
Oh, I forgot to say this. So there is technically 4 rules. you were required to write some answer because I've had some of the funniest answers possible in the history of this show because someone wrote it down and they didn't know the answer. So I should probably start reading that in the rules. You do have to write an answer. That is a rule on the show now. I forgot to mention that last week or at the beginning of this episode.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
All right.
100%. I'll give you a quick story. So I'll put the link in the bottom of the description there. But in the Houston Rockets episode last year with James Piercy and Biased Houston, they had to do the Hakeem Olajuwon blocks and steals combined number. I wanted it to be really hard, but he was obviously top 5 in both statistical categories. They both wrote the exact same number. They both wrote like 818 out of again.
Oh my gosh.
Think about the possibilities that they could all write. They could write down any number in the history of numbers, and they both wrote the same number.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I still can't fathom it. So, all right, how many NBA Finals Carsen has Pat Riley made, and then what percentage of all finals was that?
Okay, so I'm also not very good at math. I'm a communications major, so cut me a break. But I got 17. I tried to show my math, but it's a little backwards. Then I realized that that's not how percentages work, so I just X'd that out.
Okay.
But I think 17 championships and 24% of championships. That's my guess.
Carsen? Or Michael? Excuse me. Looking at Carsen's name.
I got a different answer than Carsen.
That's good.
Like a very
That's what I want.
different answer.
That's all right. That's what I want. I want different answers on this show.
Again, math is not my strong suit because I am a communication.
Love the caveat. Love the major caveat.
This might actually be wrong now that I'm looking at it.
You just assumed that there was a better chance that you were right than wrong.
I got 28
Wow.
with 41%.
28.
Wow.
And I know when you say that out loud, like we are,
That's
on
a
the
lot
pod
of
right
finals.
now,
That
it's
is
probably
a
a lot lower than that.
It's a ton of finals. The number that I'm about to read you still blows my mind, but it ain't 41. I'm just going to tell you right now. It ain't 41. That's almost half of league history. Okay, so I'm really torn here because here's the problem. Carsen got the amount of number, like the number of them wrong.
He got 17, didn't he?
No, he got that wrong.
Oh.
But you got the percentage right, and I technically can't give it to you because you didn't get the other one.
That counts. It's got to count.
Nope, that was a bonus question. That was a bonus one.
Okay, let me read it and then we'll talk this out. We can't talk too long because we're 42 minutes in. Still got 4 more questions and a finale. He made 19 NBA Finals in his career so far. Yeah, you were really close. 3 as a player, 10 as a coach. Most of them for the Showtime Lakers, of course. Shout out to Winning Time on HBO coming back this week. 3 as an executive. And then he made 24.7 NBA Finals. And you know what? Talking this out loud, I actually can't give it to you because that's going to be rounding up to 25 now that I realize that. So it was dude, I'm happy for you for getting that. It was so close, but 24.7 does technically mathematically round up to 25. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's fair. I had to make it fair. All right, that was a lot of fun. I love that question. Shout out to the NBA broadcast for that.
He made only 3 as an executive? Dang,
yeah,
I had
because he was a coach. He was a coach for the Miami Heat in 06.
Oh, you see, I had 3 as an executive, or 3 as a player. I only had 9 as a coach.
You were really close, though. That's
and
crazy.
Then I had 5 as an executive.
Yeah. All right. Pat Riley, fun. Also, the first, this is RV previously a question, but he was the first draft pick in Rockets history as a San Diego Rocket.
You know he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yes, he was. In the 484th round, so no one cares. All right, multiple choice. Question number 7. Question number 7, multiple choice. Which of these players averaged the most or the highest points per game in their NBA career? Is it A, Scottie Pippen, B, Sidney Moncrief, C, Joe Johnson, or D, Glenn Rice? Which of these players averaged the highest points per game in their NBA career? Is it Scottie Pippen, Sidney Moncrief, Joe Johnson, or Glenn Rice?
So Joe Johnson, I mean, those stats are going to be inflated because of the era. But Sidney Moncrief was a bucket.
Also a really good defender, by the way. I think he's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, if that's correct.
Oh, he was. He was great.
So
come on. Okay.
The Bucks just never got over the hump there in that Sidney Moncrief, Terry Cummings era. So, I am going to ask for less than 30 seconds on this answer because we do have we still have a lot to cover.
Oh, I got it.
Luckily, the finale, we'll just have you read as many as possible. I'll tell you whether you're right, and then we'll do the tally of that person, and we'll go to the next person. So we'll be quick in the finale.
Okay.
Anyway, you get 60 seconds regardless. So it's not like you have a long time to write these answers. But all right, are we locked in?
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, I think Carsen's on the odds, correct? Yes, I hope.
I
don't even
think
know.
so.
I don't even know. I started.
No,
with you
wait,
on the
no.
one.
Michael's on the odds because I went first. No, Michael went first.
Oh yeah. I'm first.
All right, good. See,
I got
Joe Johnson.
I got Joe Johnson. Dude, when you said average, I was like, he was the primary option in Atlanta
He was.
for the longest time. He went to Brooklyn. Not necessarily the number one option with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, that super team with Darren Williams that didn't do anything. But, man, when you talk about averages, I think Joe's got it.
He stuck around for a lot longer than a lot of people think, which is why I went with Sidney Moncrief, because I think that Joe Johnson's later years are going to drag him down.
Okay, so looking at it now, just wanted to see if I got the years right on this, but the year that the Hawks had 4 All-Stars, Joe Johnson wasn't one of them. My timelines aren't lined up. It was Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, Paul Millsap, and Al Horford. I was going to say that, and I'm glad I didn't. So I'm glad I double-checked that. Really,
that
cool
was the team that
there.
that LeBron just demolished his first year in
4
Cleveland.
All-Stars is insane.
And
even in the
LeBron
previous
4-0'd
format.
him and beat them by 30 points.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. That Joe Johnson fact is irrelevant. It is not Joe Johnson, and it is also not Sidney Moncrief. The correct answer is Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice has been brought up twice on this show. He's obviously an answer for only one thing. We'll read them backwards. Sidney Moncrief, 15.6 points per game. Joe Johnson, 16 flat. Scottie Pippen, 6-time NBA champion, of course, as one of the best players of all time. Scottie Pippen, 16.1. And Glenn Rice, 18.3. Glenn Rice was a bucket. One of the most forgotten
multiple
players.
choice questions we've done, I picked the worst answer. So I'm glad we're done with those.
We are completely done with those. We only have one more fun format left. We're going to keep rolling, and I'll get a score update at the end. Question 8. Who has the most technical fouls in NBA history? Point blank, to the point. Most technical fouls in NBA history. And by the way, this took 4. I'm going to say it into the mic as close as I can. This took forever to find. There is no tracking of this technically.
Really?
So it kind of if you don't want to pay for StatMuse, sorry StatMuse, I love you. I've used you for a long time, but I don't want to pay for StatMuse. Basketball Reference is only $8.99 a month. StatMuse is $22. But if you don't want to pay for StatMuse, this is really hard to find. And technically, they just didn't have it either. You had to filter it, and it was really difficult to find. So I pulled a string on this one to get this one. So this one took a long time to find. Harder than it should have been, which made it more fun to figure out. So, question 8, Michael, do you have an answer?
I do. But
You wrote one fast. Y'all are writing them fast. This is good. All right.
I think I have one.
Question number 8, Michael. What is your answer? Most technical fouls in NBA
wait,
history.
is Carsen's going first this time?
Sorry, Carsen.
I think I saw
Carsen
this
won last
somewhere,
time,
and
but
I actually don't think that this is the right answer, but this is like one of the only guys that I can really think of. I think it's Meta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest.
I'm going to give it to you either way if that's right. Just FYI. I'm not gonna discriminate on his name. Now in college basketball, I will count Lou Alcindor. If someone puts a college basketball question and it has to do with cream, I always make it. They have to put Lou Alcindor. Just fun
really?
fact. Yeah, guy got it last. It literally in the finale it was a difference of 1 point, and that came down to the win. So he got Lou Alcindor right. Wow. So Michael Davis, what is your answer?
So I thought of 2 people.
Okay,
and one of them was DeMarcus Cousins.
Not a bad
was
guess.
like, dude kept getting suspended, everything. But then I was like, this might be more of a current thing. And
maybe not.
This guy just, I don't necessarily love this guy in general. Draymond Green.
I wonder if it's Nate Thurman.
So that was out of left field. So shout out to Nate Thurman, Warriors legend. So here's the problem. I don't have the list in front of me. I do. There was a list. I forgot to put it down or take a note of it, whatever. Draymond is very high on that list, and he probably will end up being the all-time leader in this category. Carsen, who did you put again? I forgot. Oh, Meta World Peace.
Yes.
Obviously very famous for getting a technical that suspended him an entire season, but we're going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
NBA. I don't want the NBA to blackball me. With 332, you didn't think long enough careers, guys. Karl Malone obviously has some more legal trouble to worry about, not NBA
I don't
related,
like to guess
but
him.
Karl Malone, 332 technical fouls in his career. This
I
one's
didn't
really
think
fun.
the longevity.
Yeah, no, longevity. He played 20, 21 seasons, so I
That is
think it was
fair.
19 or 20 or 21. Yeah, long time. So question 9 is a fun format. Last one we've got left of this, and then we'll have one more regular, and we'll get to the finale. We'll get your scores after question 10. Question 9 is my favorite format recently, especially. Guess the NBA player by resume. It's a lot harder in the NBA, I think, because there's more things involved, but the college basketball one also is a lot difficult because the awards, there's like 72 Player of the Year awards. So guess the NBA player by resume, and I'm going to read this, the way this format's going to work, and I'm basically going to give you 2 to 3 minutes to answer it, and I'm going to read the question multiple times. Unless you have a question, just let me read them for the sake of the Apple and Spotify folk. 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 7-time All-NBA, and you can be writing them down as well. It helps people.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
1-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie Team, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ. He's a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team. I'm going to read them again. And I have a hint after, I'll give you a hint after 2 minutes if you haven't really thought of something or whatever. I'm going to give it because I think it's fair to know. I'm going to let you put an answer down and see if you change it, essentially is what I'm doing. I'm kind of toying with the game. 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 7-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie Team, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, and he is a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team. This player is, I'm so excited to tell you the answer. So,
Can you keep?
yep, 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 7-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie Team, same season, of course, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, NBA 75th anniversary team member, and here's your hint, 14-year NBA career. 14-year NBA career. We were getting basically up to the 2-minute mark. So
This guy was
Is
crazy.
this a closed book, or are they like 14 going on 15?
this person is no longer playing in the NBA, I guess, to answer your question. So, I mean, that's actually kind of a bigger hint than 14-year career. I probably should have just said 14-year career and not said anything else. Sorry. But, I mean, it's, 14-year could have been also so far, and it could have been so far. I mean, yeah, you're right. Good point. 11-time All-Star. I'll read them one more time. We'll look for answers. 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 7-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie Team, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, NBA 75th anniversary team, and 14-year NBA career, retired. Good question though, because honestly, that I could see how this could be somebody.
So
maybe
you're not naming any championships, like
nope.
team
I'm not telling you
activities.
years. Negative.
No. Like you're not saying like, oh, he's a 5-time NBA champion, 10-time NBA champion. Like you're just naming like.
Maybe he wasn't
I'm naming everything on his basketball reference page that isn't a statistic.
So no ring.
I plead the Fifth Amendment of the United States. Michael, you were asking for hints and accidentally getting them out of me 3 different times, so this is good. Hopefully you get the answer right because of that. So I am going to ask for an answer in 25 seconds. So we're getting up to the 54-minute mark, and we still have one more question, a finale now.
25 seconds?
Yeah, I need an answer. There's 75 possible answers, guys. I know that's insane if we're doing like a Sporkle quiz or like a quiz on Twitter or something about this. It would be a lot easier, but when you hear them, it is a little harder. So 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 7-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie Team, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, 75th anniversary team member, 14-year career. anything but the statistic, which I will also read because I am proud of those. So, okay, 10 seconds. I do need an answer.
I have no clue.
Need an answer more than not an answer. So, I need whatever answer you're currently either writing or thinking, because it looks like Carsen's writing, Michael's thinking, for the sake of the episode. And I believe it's Carsen anyway, because we're on an odd number, even though we've definitely messed up that order. So, but Michael, I do need an answer from you as well, written down, just to be fair.
Gosh, that's so wrong.
So you do have an answer. You haven't said anything. You do. I need an answer. Really
Mine's wrong. Mine's wrong too, Mike. Don't worry.
We've got a minute. We've got a minute and 20 over what I said when we were due. So I do need one right now. You could,
All right, we're good. We're good.
Do you have one written down? All
Yeah.
right. All right, Carsen, go right ahead.
I know mine's wrong, but I just chose one of my favorite players, Mark Price.
All right, Mark Price. Glad that I have an autographed card of his, by the way. Michael
Have
Davis.
it?
We'll figure that out. Yeah. I got it from a guy that used to work in the NBA. Yeah.
The thing with the rings threw me off because
Okay, I didn't say anything about rings. Let me just be upfront about this. I didn't say anything about rings. So you threw yourself off.
I was leaning Kobe. Okay. And then John Stockton. And then I definitely got it wrong with Steve Nash.
Judging by the fact he is a 2-time MVP, not a 1.
Mark Price doesn't have any
one or
MVP,
two.
so.
In you guys' defense, this is harder than college, because at least college I do give statistics, but I promise you statistics would not have helped you in this. They just wouldn't have. So for the fun, I'm going to read you his career statistic, and then we'll read the answers, and then we'll be moving on to question 10. So, this guy, I wrote the name wrong in Basketball Reference. Oops. No, I didn't. All right, here we go. Got it. So playing from 1997 to 2010, he averaged 26.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 42, 31, 78 splits with a 20 PER and 99 win shares. And then,
dude, it's Allen Iverson.
It is the answer is the answer.
Oh,
Allen Iverson, my second favorite player of all time. For those that don't know, favorite player of all time is Kobe. Allen Iverson's number 2 because I have a Slam magazine I've got to get framed again since I moved. And it's going to be literally in every shot, so it's going to be right here probably with the little afro. And then Carmelo Anthony is my third favorite. That was
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson was so gettable with those two.
Would you have gotten it with the points? Maybe.
Maybe. When you said the points,
this guy was a bucket. One of the best players of his era.
That's what tipped me off.
One of the only people to cross over Michael Jordan on film. Like, it just is a crazy thing to think about. So, love that guy. Had to make sure he gets a answer in there. Question 10, and then we'll get this one's a quick one. No taking your time on this one because it's literally a one-thing answer. What team is the only team in the last 10 seasons without a losing record in that time frame? What NBA team has no losing record in the last 10 NBA seasons? That includes this year that we just had.
Only one team?
Only one team has not a single losing season in the last 10. Who is it? Is right. 30 seconds.
It's not even enough time to think of all the teams.
There's 30 possible answers in 30 seconds. How about that? There we go. No, I'll give you a minute. We're getting close to the hour there. So, again, finale should not take that long. Funny enough, we finished 10 questions in an hour. That's actually pretty impressive. I would be lying if we said we planned that. All right.
You know what?
Yep, that's right.
This is tough.
Just confirmed it because it counts through last season. So, yeah, we're good. All right. I'm trying to figure out what
I'm stuck between two right now.
Okay. Go 20 more seconds.
Okay.
All right. I believe on even numbers we have Michael Davis. Okay, Michael?
I think we have it. So I was going to say like a historic, winning organization like the San Antonio Spurs, but they just had a dud of a year. And so I'm like trying to think back of,
fair,
the history, also the easiness of the Eastern Conference right now, who's been the mainstay. So it was between Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure Miami's had 1 or 2 losing seasons, especially after LeBron left. So I went the Boston Celtics.
5 NBA finals out of 7, or 5 Eastern Conference finals out of 7 years. Yep, that's a good guess. Carsen?
I should have thought about Eastern Conference. I honestly thought about 2K. I was like, what teams on 2K have I just always loved to play with through every year? And my answer was Denver. They had Ty Lawson. I love Ty Lawson. Honorable mention.
Ty Lawson's more than 10 years, though.
No, he played 2K14.
Hey, he was the point guard for the 09. Was he the 09 UNC? Was he Tyler Hansborough lined up?
I think he was 09.
He was.
Yeah. Gosh, but then honorable mention Portland, because I know that not that if it's Portland, I don't think that should count. But I know that Dame has been to the playoffs like an insane amount, even though he hasn't done anything.
But losing season this past year.
Ty Lawson, the honorable mention is fair, though. Yeah, no, they did. Honorable mention, though, that's good. That's a fair point. Ty Lawson, by the way, got up to 17.6 points per game in 2013-2014. That Denver team was nasty. He was the 2010 draft, actually, 09-10 draft, so we got that right. The correct answer is the Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers, despite all of their pitfalls.
No.
100%. The Los Angeles Clippers, despite all of their pitfalls, which is why I love this question, because it's not supposed to be easy. 2022, I'm not going to read all the records, but they had a winning record very close in 21-22. They were 42-40, 42-40 in 17-18. So they had some close calls for sure. Their last losing record was 2010-2011, 32-50. So basically, they were really bad for a long time, and then literally from 2012 on, the Chris Paul effect, they had a winning record, of course, and they had him obviously a little bit.
Chris Paul effect. I should have thought about that.
Never made the finals though.
What about the Celtics? When was their losing season?
That's a good question. We'll double check that before we start the finale. So,
I think it was 2K14. I don't know why I'm saying 2K now. I think it was 2014.
13-14. They were 25-57.
Yeah, they were trash.
I think that was the Jared Sullinger draft. So,
yeah.
2013-2014. 25-57. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that was basically the last year. That was basically the last year that they were bad, the Boston Celtics, because they Eastern Conference first round, finals, semis, finals, first round, NBA finals, conference finals.
Right.
By the way, before that, they had the Garnett Pierce teams. Going back to, they won the finals in 07-08, Eastern Conference semis, lost in the finals, semis, Eastern Conference finals, first round. So basically, that was the only bad year they've had in the last 15 years, was that one Boston Celtics tank year. And then Denver, we're already over an hour, so we'll just check it. Let's see. Give the reigning champs some love here. Let's see. Denver Nuggets. Yeah, sorry. 2015-16, the year after, they had multiple guys. So 36-46 in 2013-14, 30-52 in 2014-15. So those Ty Lawson teams were a lot worse than I think you and I are remembering them, Carsen.
Yeah, I guess I just loved them on 2K.
And then 16-17, they were 40-42, and they basically haven't had one losing record since because of Jokic. So yeah. All right. So let's get some score updates. Carsen, what is your score through 10 questions?
I still have just 2.
This is one of the. I will give you the truth. This is one of the hardest ones I've ever put together. Clearly. I mean, it was pretty difficult, I think.
I still have one.
Okay.
And it was that first one. It was
there are
Miami
plenty of opportunities in the finale.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this. I want the pins somewhere visible on the screen for YouTube. I don't want the comments guy to be coming after us. All right, your finale. For those that didn't hear at the beginning, you have 60 seconds to get as many possible answer choices as you can. You do not get incorrect. When I say begin, yes, when I say begin is when you start writing. And there's a little audio delay. I won't penalize you, whatever. But so you two have been on record on Twitter, or X as we call it now, and on Michael's show about disagreeing on whether the second overall pick this year should have been Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. I have missed a lot of shows in the last couple of weeks, a lot of life stuff, a lot of moving. Michael, sorry, but I'm going to lean towards Scoot on that. But I think actually you two don't agree. You two agree on it, don't you? Did I get that right?
I said Brandon Miller. He thinks Scoot.
Okay, so you do disagree.
I know
Good.
Scoot.
Glad that I lobbed that up properly.
Scoot? Yeah.
So we'll get to that. I think it's Scoot as well. But sometimes the guy drafted second overall this year, or in general, yields more value than the guy drafted first. Now, maybe not this year. We'll find that out. You do not lose points. Once again, in 60 seconds, name as many second overall picks in NBA history. Begin. I started the timer about 5 seconds late, so shout out to my YouTube editing later. That's going to be a pain. Little minute to win it timer will pop up right above Carsen's head. So, and I'll give you some time updates here in the next couple of seconds. I'll give you like 30 seconds, things like that. So don't listen to me. Don't think about anything I'm saying. Just write. You have 60 seconds. So you have 35 seconds remaining. 35 seconds remaining. This is a very appropriate question because of the spurred debates of Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson. I've been a Scoot guy all year. I evaluated him very heavily at the beginning of last year's cycle when he entered the G League, and I'm very sad couldn't see him in person this year, but very excited that hopefully the Portland Trailblazers will be making an East Coast trip, obviously. 15 seconds remaining. I'm going to give you extra time technically because I screwed the timer up. Just FYI. And the YouTube timer can deal with it. Pins down. Pins down.
Can I finish the name that I'm
doing? Nope. A guy did it last week, and it literally he would have tied the guy with 11 if he had not written down Oscar Tshiebwe fully. Which again, Oscar Tshiebwe is too long of a name to be writing down. So we're going to get right into this because obviously the score is very close, 2-1, right? And we want to make sure we have time to go over all of the answers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you how many total just people do you have written down, and whoever has more, we're going to go ahead and go first with that person. So, Michael, how many total answers or possible answers do you have written down?
I have 8.
Okay, Carsen?
I only got 6 unless you count my half name on the last one.
Unfortunately not. So you do have a chance to still win this, obviously. Michael's got 8. You've got 6. You're up by 1. Obviously, I love drama-filled finales, and this is obviously setting up to be just that. So, Michael, you have 8, and what we're going to do is go one by one, so I have time to tell you whether it's correct or not. Put a tally next to the person, and we'll get a total at the end. Yep.
Should I flash my screen or just name them off?
You can hold them up really fast for the YouTube audience, and then I'll just trust the fact that I saw all of them. So just hold it up real quick, just to be fair. And I see okay. You can put it back down, and I'll go through and correct any, or just say yes or no whether it's correct. Put a tally mark, and we'll get the total after 8.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
That is correct. 2012 Charlotte Bobcats.
Brandon Miller.
I should have said this, excluding Brandon Miller. Carsen, did you write Brandon Miller? Because obviously he's a free point. Okay, I'm going to give you both the point because you both wrote it. I'll give you both the point. I should have said that because we literally just talked about it. Normally I don't do that, but it's close enough. So, yeah, Brandon Miller, correct.
Sam Bowie.
That is correct. One of the most famous of all time. I'm trying to get the year for you. 1984 out of Kentucky, the Portland Trailblazers, drafted after Hakeem, before Michael.
Jabari Parker.
Jabari Parker, that is correct. Jabari Parker was 2014. Thought he was the truth. I did, at least. Jabari Parker, Duke, Milwaukee Bucks.
I did too, man. Jalen Green.
Jalen Green is... they don't have this list on Jalen Green's correct. I obviously know what year Jalen Green was drafted and what. I think the list cut off at 2019 by accident. But just to be safe for the fact that I'm not remembering it properly, if I am, drafted second overall in the 2021 NBA draft to the Houston Rockets.
Darko Milicic.
Darko Milicic is correct. Probably the most famous number 2 overall pick, or one of. 2003 from Serbia and Montenegro. Detroit Pistons, drafted after LeBron James. Actually, drafted around 4 Hall of Famers out of the top 5.
Yeah, before Dwayne Wade. So thank you guys. Jay Williams.
Jay Williams, also known as Jason Williams. I made a blunder last episode with the finale, and I forgot his name was Jason originally, and he goes by Jay. Yes, 2002, that's correct. Duke, Chicago Bulls.
And R.J. Barrett.
R.J. Barrett is correct. This one was not supposed to be difficult.
R.J. Barrett was the 3rd pick.
Just kidding. Yes, you're right. I was looking straight at it when I said that. Yes, R.J. Barrett is incorrect. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Wait, what?
That was the John Morant. Yeah, it was the Zion, R.J. Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Sorry. Yeah, I was looking at the number, too, and I still said it wrong.
You still definitely beat me, though.
So we're about to find out. Hey, this one was not supposed to be difficult. It was just supposed to be a matter of blitz at that point, and I think that's good. Great showing there, Michael. How many did you get?
So I didn't get RJ, so I got 7.
And you had 1 originally, so you have 8. Okay, so Carsen, you've got a chance here. I know you do. You can look at it, think, I've got a few. Maybe you have more or less. We're about to find out. So Michael currently has 8. Go ahead and we'll go one by one. Even if you've already said it, we'll still go just for the sake.
Here's that. You can see 2 egregious ones that I got wrong.
So you got it. Well, you had to go 6 for 6 anyway. We're still going to go through it for the sake of the fun. But go ahead.
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. That's correct.
I had Brandon Miller. He doesn't count.
Okay, he does. I counted it for both of you. Yeah, I counted it for both of you.
Jabari Parker.
Correct.
and John Morant. And those
Ja
are
Morant.
those are the only 4 I got wrong. The other 2, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony. I could not remember that draft, but I was like, I know that this draft had some big names, so I just started writing some down.
You're good. Still a heck of a showing. You obviously had more anyway coming into this, so give me a total for you and a total for Michael, and we'll get out of here shortly.
That was 6 for me.
8 for Michael. Hey, heck of a showing, fellas. Honestly, again, the finale is supposed to be where you make up and have fun. But man, I apologize for the toughness. Dude, that was I think that was a heck of a show there. You guys held your own. Like I said, close showing there.
I will say,
Go ahead.
even though I lost, I got incredibly close on some.
I know, dude. There was some I was
17
just like, oh.
and 24 for Pat Riley. I should have been closer on the Lou Williams one, so I'm not too upset.
No, for 0 bonus points, and I want just like off the top of your head the answer who you think it is. This is one of the most fun Trivia Showdown questions ever, and we'll get out of here. Who is the first ever jersey retired by the Miami Heat?
It was Michael Jordan.
There you go. Did you know that, or did I say that on Outta Pocket one time? I'm pretty sure I said that.
I mean, I knew it,
It's
but
known.
you may have already said it.
Good.
said it.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know. I got a lot of comments on that first. That was actually the first Trivia Showdown ever. I think,
That's
or
why
second.
LeBron
That's
didn't
good.
wear 23 coming to the Heat.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. See, tying it together
'Cause
there.
he wore 6.
Cool. All right. So,
Is this around the horn? Is
we-
this where I have like my 30 seconds of fame for winning?
well, you both technically get a plug because this is a podcast. So, yeah, I mean, technically you can go first if you'd like since you won. Go right ahead.
Just am getting over an illness. I am so grateful for my victory lap on the Two Pointers podcast. This has been a great time. Just the other night, went to my first ever concert. Darius Rucker was awesome, and this just tops the cake. Shout out to all my second overall picks. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, probably the greatest second overall pick in Charlotte Hornets history,
That was a
and
good
Brandon
call.
Miller, who's going to be the second greatest Charlotte Hornets pick in history.
He is.
Sam
Pretty low
Bowie,
bar.
Jabari Parker, Jalen Green, Darko Milicic, Jay Williams. But no thank you to RJ Barrett, who has not been relevant since Duke University. Thank you.
Carsen, plug on the way out. Congratulations on your win, Michael. Carsen, great job, though. 2 is literally like 200 in this because 2 less or 2 more because this is, like I said, I think this is one of the hardest 10 I've ever put together. So I apologize about that to both of you, but
That's okay.
plug away.
Yeah, I feel like I should have won it. I think I had more in the tank. This wasn't my best showing, but congrats to Michael. I don't think I'm ever gonna live this one down. I might
Probably
not ever go on Outta Pocket with Michael Davis ever again. And yeah, this is probably gonna be the last time either one of you hear from me. No.
It's all good. Look, it was a lot of fun, and like there was some knowledge nuggets in there too, but obviously, unfortunately, not for some points. Again, talking about the bonus there, I mean, it would have been tied even with the finale with that bonus opportunity there with Pat Riley. So close there. Great job from both of you. As Michael Davis said, going to concerts this year like Darius Rucker, if you want to get $20 off your first purchase, you can go to SeatGeek.com or the top of the link. In the top of the description and check out if your seat at Darius Rucker or any other concert or baseball game or sporting event coming up is a really good deal, but you'll be able to do that. Get $20 off your first purchase. Code 2 pointers. Also, link in the top of the description takes you there to put that in. Thanks, you fellas. Twitters will be on the screen. All the links for you guys are down below. Outta Pocket with Michael Davis. Thank you for the opportunity up on there as well from both of you. I know you both have been a huge part of that show's success and fun the last couple of months. Definitely check that out. Last week's show I'll put below as well if I can remember to do that in post-production. But this has been a whole lot of fun. Hour and 15 minutes or so. So really great time, fellas. Check out next week with whoever it's going to be. It'll either be college basketball with somebody kind of cool and important that I'm very excited to do, or it'll be Josh and Grayson's return to the show. Don't forget to check out the state ranking series by the time you're hearing this. That is completely live, and the series is up on house-enterprise.com. Thank you to House Enterprise for the platform. This has been the Two Pointers Podcast. I'm Trevor Everett, and we'll see you later.